The scene opens in Bogotá, the Colombian capital. The late afternoon light falls over Bolívar Square, a vast and symbolic plaza framed by government buildings, colonial facades, and the stone presence of the cathedral. The square has taken on an atmosphere of tension and unity combined. Thousands of Colombians have gathered, carrying banners, waving the national flag and chanting in support of their president. The crowd stretches far back, filling the open space, each person waiting to hear the voice that has brought them here. There is no music, no orchestrated spectacle, only the murmur of conversation, the occasional whistle, and the steady wave of hands holding signs. Many of those signs speak directly to sovereignty and dignity. Words like "Colombia is sovereign" and "We support you." Some messages go further, reading "Fuera gringos de Colombia," gringos out of Colombia. For the people attending, this is not simply a rally. It is, for many, a public declaration of identity. Colombian President Gustavo Petro is at the center of it. Days earlier, the United States government placed him, the First Lady Veronica Alcocer, her eldest son Nicolas, and Interior Minister Armando Benedetti on a sanctions list. The designation freezes any assets held in the United States and bars travel into US territory. It is a measure that deepens an increasingly confrontational political situation between Bogota and Washington. It is also unprecedented in the modern relationship between the two countries, which for decades have maintained close cooperation, especially on issues of security and narcotics. The announcement was made by the US Treasury Department, invoking concerns related to alleged failures in confronting drug networks and questions surrounding political conduct. But for many Colombians gathered in the square, the issue is not primarily legal or administrative. It is historical, it is emotional, and above all, it is about sovereignty, the right to self-governance without external coercion. Petro steps to the podium, surrounded by aides and officials. He raises his hand and the crowd quiets. What follows is not a long speech, but a sharp message. His voice is firm, steady, and delivered with intention. We are not kneeling. We will not back down. The crowd reacts immediately, cheers, applause, the shaking of flags. Petro continues, shifting tone from defiance to accusation. He refers directly to former US President Donald Trump, who publicly supported the sanctions and criticized Petro's administration. Petro questions whether Trump even understands the realities of Colombia. He highlights the long history of coca cultivation, the violence of drug cartels, and the contradictions in US policy. He doesn't even know clearly where Colombia is, Petro says. Who increased the cultivation of coca leaf in this country? Who stopped it? Who fought against the Colombian drug cartels in their attempt to seize power? His words are met with nods and shouts of approval from supporters. The speech does not attempt to persuade Washington. It is intended for the public in front of him. Petro raises another point, one that addresses the core of the sanctions. I don't have a dollar in the United States. There is no account for me to freeze. I have no desire, nor will I ever do so in the future, to do business in the United States of America. The declaration is both symbolic and personal. It reinforces the narrative that the sanctions do not punish Petro himself, but rather attempt to apply political pressure on Colombia as a state. A large screen behind him displays his image to those too far to see the podium. People watch closely, some with hands placed over their hearts, others recording the speech on phones, capturing the moment in real time. For many, Petro's stance is interpreted not merely as resistance to a political decision, but as defense of national dignity. Among those speaking to journalists in the crowd is Carlos Santana, a lawyer. He expresses frustration at the US government's approach. President Trump must moderate his aggression towards everyone. He is not the owner of the world, Santana says. The owner of the world is God. He is simply a leader like all the other presidents in the world. Having money does not mean he can command or interfere in other people's lands as if they were his own domain. It is a statement rooted in moral conviction, reflecting the sentiment that no individual or nation should exert authority beyond its borders. A retiree, Sonia Valencia, speaks with a softer but equally firm tone. We would like to tell Mr. Trump, please, that we are a country of peace. We are not a country, we grow coca, they smoke it. They must be consistent with that. Her words highlight a theme that has defined US-Colombia relations for decades, the shared yet uneven responsibility in the global drug trade. Nearby, Jose Maria Castro Chelis, a civil engineer in his late 70s, stands among the crowd, leaning on a cane but resolute. His voice is calm and deliberate. I think the position of the president is correct, he says. It is a position where he truly demands respect for the sovereignty of the country. We cannot continue to be subordinate to the United States. The United States gives nothing to Colombia. They have stolen from it before his comment reflects historical grievances rooted in military cooperation, trade policies, and resource extraction. As the rally continues, the images show a Colombian public that is divided but not passive. Some have come out of support for Petro personally, others because they believe in the principle of national independence, and some because they see this moment as part of a larger shift occurring across Latin America, a shift in which several governments are questioning the long-standing influence of Washington in the region. The relationship between Colombia and the United States is complex. For decades, Colombia has been one of Washington's closest allies in Latin America, especially in the context of the so-called war on drugs. Billions of dollars in US funding flowed to Colombia to combat cocaine production, armed insurgencies, and organized criminal networks. Plan Colombia, launched in the early 2000s, became one of the most extensive security partnerships in the hemisphere. For many US officials, this cooperation was necessary and strategic. For many Colombians, it came at a high social cost. Communities in rural Colombia were displaced. Aerial fumigation campaigns destroyed croplands and livelihoods. Military operations led to civilian casualties. And drug trafficking persisted, shifting locations and adapting, but never disappearing. In the eyes of many people here today, the struggle against narco-trafficking was never only a criminal issue. It was also political, economic, and deeply embedded in international power relations. The sanctions issued this week arrive at a moment when Petro's government has sought to overhaul Colombia's approach to the drug trade. Instead of heavy military intervention, Petro has proposed rural development, alternative economic projects, and peace negotiations with armed groups. Supporters see this as a necessary correction to decades of strategies that failed to dismantle criminal economies. Critics argue it is naive and potentially dangerous. The United States, under its official policy framework, remains committed to enforcement-driven models. The clash, then, is not only political, it is strategic. At the rally, the message being communicated is clear. Colombia should choose its own national policies, regardless of the preferences of foreign governments. The crowd's chants rise again. The president acknowledges them, lifting his hand once more. His expression is resolute and measured, not triumphant. Around the edges of the square, police stand watch. There are no visible confrontations, no immediate signs of unrest, only the steady hum of participation. People leave slowly, some staying to talk among themselves, others folding their signs and carrying them away. In the days ahead, the diplomatic repercussions will continue. Negotiations, statements, press conferences, and reactions from both governments are expected. But at this moment, the significance lies in what has taken place in the square. A direct response, public and collective. The rally ends, but the story does not. Because what is happening here is not only about sanctions, it is about identity, history, dignity, and the limits of external power. It is about how a nation defines itself and who gets to decide that definition. And as the crowd disperses, one phrase continues to echo, repeated by those walking away, written on posters, printed on banners, spoken by the president himself: "We will not kneel, we will not back down."
Brothers and sisters, rise.
Que ya hacen parte de tu vida, amigo.
Adelante, compañeros, dispuestos a resistir, defender nuestros derechos.
En ese camino. Por eso, esta reunión en la acción no deja morir niños y niñas después de nacidos. través de decisiones gubernamentales, todas estas decisiones. Y a las viejas una pensión para vivir con dignidad. Y a su interior por los mismos políticos plañideros. 3 millones. Y yo veré esas. Y aquí estoy de pie y vivo. Y mientras esté vivo,
we will not kneel, we will not back down.
no nos arrodillamos.
Hey, Trump doesn't even know clearly where Colombia is, who increased the cultivation of coca leaf in this country, who stopped it, who fought against the Colombian drug cartels in their attempt to seize power, nor if Trump has clarity in Colombia, who has suffered from coca cultivation in this country and who has been detained, who has liberated a fight against the Colombian narco-trafficking mafias in his pretense of being able to do so.
En su pretensión de tomarse el poder, y quién
I don't have a dollar in the United States. There is no account for me to freeze. I have no desire, nor will I ever do so in the future, to do business in the United States of America. I don't have a dollar in the United States. There is no account that I can't win or ever make deals in the United States of North America. President Trump must moderate his aggression towards everyone. He is not the owner of the world. The owner of the world is called God. He is simply a leader like all the other presidents in the world. Having money does not mean he can command or interfere in other people's lands as if they were his own domain. President Trump has a little aggression before all the world. He is the world's Jew. The world's Jew is Lama God. He is simply a directed person, like all the presidents who are in the world, that you have the same food. You don't want to decide whether to eat or eat in the tier of the Damas, a manager as if you're on your farm. We would like to tell Mr. Trump, please, that we are a country of peace. We are not a country. We grow coca, they smoke it, they must be consistent with that. I think the position of the President, Petro, editor's note, is correct. It is a position where he truly demands respect for the sovereignty of the country. We cannot continue to be subordinate to the United States. The United States gives nothing to Colombia. They have stolen from it before.